Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Win with Will. Thank you guys for taking a look at my channel where we are following my dividend portfolio journey. This is going to be my week 5 results. For those of you that are new to the channel, we're just following along on my journey of a dividend portfolio to see how someone can start from the beginning and work their way up. And for the returning people, thank you so much for coming back and staying with me. I've met some really cool people along the way, so thank you. Let's get right into the information. So, why am I here and who am I? Honestly, I just started this channel as a way to document my progress, to be able to show others how you can start from a small account and work your way up. Also, to show my friends and family how simple it is to start investing, teach my children financial education, as well as helping others be able to teach their children the same. We always want the next generation to do better than we did when we were coming along. And if we didn't really have anyone to talk to us about this stuff, then, we didn't really start learning about it until we got older. Also, I want to inspire others. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm not some type of financial guru. I always say I'm just a regular guy from the south side of Chicago that's just looking to do better on my financial journey and take control of my financial future. And you guys can do the same as well. So first, let's just get right into the legal ease, so to speak. I am not a financial advisor. This content is shared for entertainment and educational purposes, and it should not be considered financial advice. Do your own due diligence. I'm just showing what I'm doing and how things are working for me. But before you do anything, make sure you do all of your checking and research before you make any decisions on your own. But again, I'm just documenting my personal journey. Now, my goals here with my portfolio, I have some short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. And one of the quotes that I put up recently just lets you know that if you don't have goals, you're just kind of running around in circles, not knowing how do you know when you've arrived or made it to where you're really looking to go if you don't have a destination. So my short-term goal is to generate $1,000 a month in dividend income. I've cracked over the $500 mark in my first month. To have $10,000 invested in my portfolio. Midterm goal, $5,000 a month in dividend income, which is enough to be considered a full-time income for a lot of people, and to have over $50,000 in my investment portfolio. And long-term goal is to generate $100,000, 6 figures a year, in dividend income coming in on a passive basis. So I know why we are here. Let's take a look at the results for this week. So again, this is my week 5, and up to this point, for anybody that's new, when I first started the account about a little over a month ago, started with $5,000, and I've gradually added, a little bit more here and there, and I'll continue to do that. This week, I actually bumped this number up by an extra $500. So I put an extra $500 in this week, and I bought some more shares of the NVIDIA fund. So right now, my total invested into the account is just under $7,500, but had a really solid week this week, which was $145.35 in dividend income. And some of my subscribers and people have been sharing some information about some of the funds that they're investing in. And one of my guys was spot on. He hit this nail right on the head where he said that the Tesla fund is very volatile, goes up and down, and he's cautioned me about using this as my top as the top fund that I'm investing in. As you can see here, I've got more funds in this Tesla fund, TSYY, than any others that I have. And actually, this week, on Friday, this Tesla fund had dropped to like $8.80 or something like that before it rebounded back up to a little bit over $9. So yeah, he was just saying, hey, be careful with that Tesla fund because it has a lot of swings up and down, and you want to be careful about how much the value of the fund is going down. So as of right now, I'm down to 5 funds. So TSYY, which is a Granite Shares fund. Granite Shares is a company that generates these various income generating high dividend yield generating ETF funds. And so I've got 3 Granite Shares funds, TSYY, which follows the Tesla stock. So as Tesla goes through its high and low swings, up and down, very volatile. But I went into that knowing that. So it follows the ups and downs of Tesla. XBTY, which this follows the ups and downs of Bitcoin. NVYY, this follows the Nvidia stock, which Nvidia is a tech company, really hot stock. So the ups and downs of Nvidia. OT, these are my 2 YieldMax funds, which YieldMax is another company that kicks out these high yield dividend funds. They've got about 50 of them. YieldT is actually my favorite fund out of all of these, just because it's been very consistent, sticking around in this, $6, somewhere anywhere between like $6.10, $6.40 range over the last several months. So it's been very consistent, and it's been very consistent with the payout amounts. So OT is actually my favorite fund, even though I have more invested in TSYY. I got more invested in TSYY just because the dividend payouts have been really, really great with this company. And even though this week it took a pretty nice dip, the dividends have still been paying out really well. And then Misty, MSTY. This one is like a YouTube legend. If you go online, you'll see so many videos about people that have been investing with Misty for a long time. It follows the stock MSTR, which is another company that's really heavily invested in Bitcoin. So again, as Bitcoin has its ups and downs, the MSTR stock will have ups and downs, and Misty will follow along. So Misty is my only monthly paying fund. All the rest of these pay out every week. And I like the weekly over the monthly just because you can get your payouts a lot faster versus waiting. And also it gives you the ability to compound more and more, as I'm doing. So I'm taking my earnings each week, compounding them back and buying more and more shares. So I'm up to 333 shares of the TSYY fund. I actually, last week's profits, the $132 or so, I dumped that back into TSYY because it was down throughout the week. So as I'm buying it while it's down, it's bringing my average purchase price down. So as I buy more and more shares at the lower rate, it's, buy low. Buy low, sell high, right? So I've been capturing more and more shares of this because I've been catching it low. I really would have loaded up on some of it when it hit the $8 and something mark, but I had already used my available funds. I had about 500 available dollars, which I had already poured into the NVYY fund. So actually now I've doubled up from having 20 shares to 40 now with this fund. So I put my new money that I invested into the account into NVYY, and I took my earnings from last week and bought more shares, about 14 shares of the NVIDIA fund. So now I'm up to 333. Next, I'll be, if I catch this at another really low point like it was this week, I'll probably buy more shares of the TSYY. Or if it bounces back and rebounds, then I'll probably end up buying more shares of the OT. So we'll see how things go next week. I've decided that I'm not going to put more shares into the MSTY, even though this week, Friday coming up, it'll pay out for this month. But I'm not going to buy more shares just yet. I like the performance of the weekly pairs a little bit more. So we'll see how Misty does if it starts getting back higher with the dividend payouts. I might get more shares of Misty. But just quickly going into my results. So for week 5, the TSYY fund paid out 25 cents per share, which paid me $83.25 based off my 333 shares for the week. The XBTY paid out 47 cents a share, which gave me $9.40 this week. So this one has been pretty consistent as well. NVIDIA fund, NVYY, paid out 51 cents a share. So now that I have more shares, got $20.40 this week. OT paid out steady Eddie, 10 cents a share, exact same as last week, so $32.30 this week. And when I do my next week video, I'll have more payout from Misty. But my grand total this week, $145.35 in dividend earnings, which when we factor how much I've earned so far, I'm up $665.39 in dividend income, which based off the amount that I've invested to how much I've earned in dividend income so far has gotten me about almost 9%. I'm up almost about 9% off my dividend earnings based off how much I've invested. Now, with the actual price of some of these funds going down, especially the big dip that we had with Tesla, it's down based off how much I've put into it with the dollar amount of the average purchase price. So it's way down 12%. It was about 8% or so last week. So this one has been consistently down. This was the farthest it's been down though since I've been investing in it. And grand total, my actual share pricing is down based off how much I've invested into the shares. So the value of the funds is $76.72, but based off how much I've bought, which was $8,094. So this is actually something new that I've put in. I wasn't calculating this correctly previously. I was calculating it based off the total of the account, but when you look at just the actual funds, I'm down $421 mainly because of the big dip with Tesla. So I'm down $421 on the actual price of the funds, which you definitely want to keep an eye on this. I'm not planning on selling anything anytime soon, so I have time to allow these to rebound and kind of make their way back up, hopefully. So as of right now, I'm down $421 on the price, but because of the amount of dividend payouts, my overall account will still be up a couple $100. So even though the price of Tesla has been really driving down the overall portfolio, I'm still up overall just because of the dividends. So the dividends have been offsetting the downtrend. And again, I believe we're kind of at the bottom right now. Obviously, you never know if the stock's going to continue to fall or go back up, but I have confidence that this will bounce back up. Again, Tesla is very volatile. I'm not going to keep this too long, guys. I'll do more of my my deeper dives throughout the middle of the week that goes more into detail about the funds and things like that. I want to keep these update videos a lot shorter. So if you enjoy the content, please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. I do respond to every comment. So if you have any ideas or thoughts or want to just share any encouraging words or share what you're doing, please comment. I will get back to everybody that comments on the channel. And like and subscribe and share the video, guys, to help the channel grow. It really helps out with your support. So I really appreciate all you guys. And let's get started. If you've been watching for a little while, you've been on the fence, take a little bit of time, find that stock or that fund or something that has been speaking to you, and go ahead and get started with your journey. You don't have to know everything to start, but you do have to start at some point to be able to win the race. And last but not least, I'd like to leave you guys with a nice quote, and this is from Confucius. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. We're all going to have our ups and downs. We're all going to have those times that things don't work out, but don't give up. Don't get discouraged. It's all a part of the journey. If we never have a challenge, then we can never overcome anything, guys. So I'll also have a couple of videos here at the top of the page. If you want to go back and look at my last week to compare it to this week, it'll be on here, as well as my deep dive video that goes into all of the funds, why I picked them, which funds I may be looking into getting involved with next. So thank you so much for your time, guys. You have a good rest of your day.